Hey guys, Michael23B here, and today I actually have a new device to show you guys called a two-way serial transceiver. And the way it works is I have a tripwire. It actually communicates over tripwire, and it communicates data serially by pushing this armor stand into the tripwire, and it sends signal over here into this transceiver. Now, because these two transceivers are exactly the same, I can actually send data from that one into this one and it will receive it, and I can also send data from this one back into this one and this one will receive it. Now let's just show you a demonstration before moving on. So I'm going to hit 1010, and there's actually a clear button and a send button. I'm going to hit send, and as you can see, these pistons get pushed, which is the data coming through, and I get 1010. So I can deactivate these levers, and I can show you that there's actually no extra redstone communicating between these machines. It's just the tripwire over here. As you can see, that tripwire is the communication line, and it sends the signal over to here. Now that we have data in this register, I'm actually going to send that same data back to that one. And we should get 1010. Now, if we want to send a new signal over to that one, we would hit clear over here, because if I wanted to do a new one with these ones, it would get confused. So let's just hit clear. And I can leave these levers on while it's clearing. And I can actually hit, let's just say we hit 0011. Now that data, excuse me, that device over there already has data in it, but I don't need to clear it, because once I start sending new data, the old data should clear out. So let's send this one. Should be 0011. So as you can see, the data is moving through, and we get 0011. Alright, now I'm just going to get into the mechanics a little bit. This design over here uses observers and hoppers. Locked hoppers can be unlocked, and each time they change to a locked or unlocked state, the observer actually receives that signal and it sends a pulse. Now this isn't my design. I got it from Mizuma Games, which I'll link in the description. But in order to send the communication, we hit this button, and when we hit that button, it releases this signal, and that unlocks this hopper over here, and that sends a pulse to this redstone line, which sends a pulse all the way down here, and that pushes the armor stand into the tripwire and sends the first pulse. Now the first pulse that we're actually sending is a wake-up signal, and the wake-up signal lets the other device know that new data is coming. The wake-up signal isn't actually a data bit on its own. So after we send that signal, we wait 10 ticks, and then we unlock this hopper, and that sends a pulse. And then we wait another 10 ticks, and that hopper sends a pulse. And for each pulse that gets sent is another bit on the register over there. Now when a redstone signal comes out of here, it deactivates this line, and once this line starts deactivating, then all of these hoppers will start deactivating on a 10-tick pulse, except for the fact that there are levers on this side, and if this lever is off, then this redstone torch actually stays on, so that this hopper doesn't get unlocked, and this observer won't send a pulse through, and that's how the data gets communicated. Alright, so now that I've shown you the sending part, which I told you was inspired by Mizuma Games, let's get into the receiving bit. So when a new signal comes in over the line, we actually send it down here, and this is where it gets messy, but we send that pulse through here, and new data gets sent through these, which go up to the lamps. And when it gets sent through, it activates this, and then this redstone block locks it. Now what happens first actually is we send the first pulse through this monostable circuit, and this hopper clock actually keeps this monostable circuit activated. That way, once we get a pulse through here, we actually unlock the system, and that lets the old data out. And then once we start getting new data, it actually gets sent through. And then once the wake-up pulse gets sent through, it locks it immediately, and we have our new data. And the other aspect of this is when we unlock that system to let the old signals out, this actually stays deactivated by this clock here, which is exactly timed to let all the old data out. And once all the old data is let out, this piston re-extends, and it lets the new signal activate this, which locks the new data and lets the new data be shown on the receiver. Alright, now I know I'm not the best at explaining things, but I hope that wasn't too confusing. We just have one more bit to explain, and that is when we send the signal. Now when we send the signal, we send it through this pulse here, and that gets sent over to that one. But we also need to let this transceiver know not to receive the same signal that we're sending, otherwise we'd have a loop. Now when we're sending the signal, what actually happens is that chain goes, as I explained, and this torch over here deactivates, and it lets a new signal through. But when it's letting the new signal through, it also locks the receiver. So this torch will actually activate, and it goes down to here, and it locks the receiver. So because this piston and this armor stand is activating this tripwire, we are getting new signal to the receiver, but instead of letting the machine take that signal, we are locking it so that we're not letting the same signal in and have a loop, so we don't have a loop. Alright, so I hope that wasn't too confusing. I am really not the best at explaining sometimes, but that's about it. Hopefully you got the idea. This tripwire can actually be 40 blocks long between, let me just close that. The tripwire can actually be 40 blocks between the hooks, and this can actually be used for long distance communication, just as long as it's within render distance. And these can be in a chain. I just have 10 string between these ones, as an example, but there can be 40 strings between each one, and they can go in a chain for as long as you want, as long as it's within render distance. So anyways, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.